Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the MarshStream. This is Caitlin here with Marsh Bingo. I'm so excited to see you all here today. All right, so upcoming at the Marsh in the next couple of weeks, we've got 3 more shows for Dan Hoyle's Talk to Your People. And then after that, we've got a whole bunch of new shows, which y'all should take a look at our website and check out our lineup for the fall. And I'm so excited to welcome back the wonderful, the amazing Josh Kornbluth.
Thank you, Caitlin. Hi, everybody. It's great to be back and to be bingoizing again. And my wife told me just a few minutes ago. She said, if you don't feel up to it, you can always cut the bingo short, whatever. And then So then I thought then if that happens, depending on where I cut it short, I'd call it Bing. But I would hope it wouldn't be like Bin or Bit, but I think it'll be fine. I've had COVID. I put it off for a long time from a compact I made with God, and then God and I had a little bit of a disagreement about fate, and as a result, I lost my protection, and so I got COVID, and then it went away, and then I got it again. I took that thing that the president got, Paxlovid. It's an antiviral thing you take for 5 days. It makes everything taste like if the devil manufactured licorice. It would that is the aftertaste that it would have. It would be, I mean, I'm grateful for it, but it's all sort of surreal. I'm starting to think that the whole pandemic thing has really affected our lives, but don't quote me on that. Still thinking about it. Not a fast thinker. And let's see. So then it came back, and then it went away. It went away recently. So the only thing that's happened is that I speak this slowly, and but no, I don't really. I speak fast. I don't know if you can you hear the bird outside? Like a tweeting bird outside. And I'm trying to identify it because I have this identifying app. I'm gonna guess that it's a house finch, but I'm gonna use my app. I have this app called it's called Merlin, and if you it will identify bird sounds. So remember what I guessed was house finch. And sure enough, it's a chestnut-back chickadee, which is the scientific name for house finch. So so that's pretty impressive, I'd have to say. Okay, cool. Here we go. Have not picked up the accordion since we last met. So my dazzling technique might be a little off. Not to mention my singing quality. Marsh bingo, Marsh bingo, Marsh bingo, Marsh bingo, Marsh bingo, Marsh bingo. So we're ready to play game number 1. And sometimes I talk about like what's been happening in the news. Oh, bingo card, cool. Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, I've heard it's common. Rebound thing. Forgot what I was gonna say, which is good. That's the normal me. So I think that's a sign that I'm back. It's a little harder to breathe for me than usual. So the thing where when someone announces bingo, I do a backflip. It's not going to happen. You just can't expect a lot of the gymnastics that you normally see from me because I'm just recovering. Oh, one thing I want to mention before I start is that so I was going to do these backyard performances, which are going to be my first 2 performances for a live audience that was with me in the space at my friends Krista and Jeff's backyard, which is beautiful. And then I had to cancel it because I got COVID. And so I postponed it to this coming weekend. But then on Wednesday, when I had to decide or Thursday morning, I was still COVID positive. So I had to postpone it again to September 3rd and 4th, which is Labor Day weekend. I mention this only to say, for those of you who might be in the area of Berkeley on September 3rd or 4th, Saturday or Sunday, you know, you're not in Saugerties, New York, you're not in Hawaii, you're not on an island completely surrounded by water, you're not trapped by all of the begonias flowering around you that pull you back every time you try to leave your apartment. If any of those things happen and you want, some people had to cancel their tickets because they were sold out. And so there's some tickets available. And I was going to see if this actually works. No, it doesn't. Oh, well, anyhow, I'll figure it out. Who can read this? Everyone. I was going to give you a link for it. I mean, wait, I'll do that. It's really simple. I don't want to know what's new in Word. It's not like a priority for me right now, Word. I just wanted to have this link. I don't care that typing with my voice just got easier. I just wanted to do this. Okay, there we go. Now let's see if it works. Okay, so. Oh, I guess I've done it 3 times now. You don't have to do it 3 times, but any one of those 3, you can come to you can come to the backyard and see me in 3 weekends. Also, there's going to be a secret half-price preview on that Friday, the 2nd. But since I know that all of you, like me, are practicing Orthodox Jews, there's no way that you'd be able to travel to come there. So, and nor for me to do work during Shabbat. So, but there is this little thing that I'm not going to announce, and I'll announce it to you guys just in case someone wants to come. Game number 1. If I haven't mentioned, we're playing bingo. It's a game. It was originally the first bingo game. People weren't able to look at the bingo host because the bingo host was said to have godlike qualities. So what they did is they had to fashion one of the world's first mirrors. They fashioned a mirror, and so that people could only look in the mirror, and they played bingo, even though they were there. They would look in the mirror rather than, and because of that, it was called Ognib to them because it was backwards in the mirror. So for years, while they worshipped the bingo host that way through the mirror, Ognib was the name. And then it was as big a surprise to, I think, everybody when they took the mirror away and they found out, A, that the host of bingo was not godlike. In fact, maybe was even a little subhuman. And B, didn't have, for example, opposable thumbs, which is a problem when you're turning this. And the other thing, B, that they found out is that's called. The first bingo that I'm calling is B8. So if you have B8 on your bingo card, go for it. Mark it down. B8. I have to say, by the way, I was really excited when I determined that I could do bingo because I got to see you guys and be doing this. So it's just so you know from my end. It's just like I feel like sort of coming back to life a little bit. Not that I've been dead. I haven't been sucking people's blood at night or wearing capes or hanging upside down from trees. I don't even want to get into it. And those reports in Berkeley side are just they're blasphemous. The second one is B7. 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 And I mean, I was all vaccinated and all twice, 3 times even, maybe, I don't know. Twice boosted. I got the second boost because I'm old. And so I think I'm assuming that helped me tremendously because it never got really, really bad, but it got kind of bad. It's kind of hard to breathe. It's kind of like a little bit like you could see if it got worse, that it would be awful. And so anyhow, I'm really grateful for that. And I got back when I sent out my email to my e-list about the first performances, outdoor performances I was gonna do, I just added a thing. It was just common sense to me. Like I just said, everyone must be fully vaccinated. Because we're all gonna be. I mean, we're gonna be outside and spaced apart somewhat, but everyone should be vaccinated. Just seeing, and this guy who's on my list, so he's like a fan. He wrote me this long letter saying, because I also wrote, because it's really important to me that my events be wheelchair accessible. And by the way, masking is, as you know, it's also protection for our friends and loved ones who have immune deficiencies and just various ways to say. Anyhow, so he said, I can't believe, he wrote to me, Josh, I can't believe that you would like allow people to come in on wheelchairs, but then force everyone to wear a mask, to be vaccinated. It's so prejudiced, and he said, I have a condition that means that I can't get vaccinated. And so I'm horrified that you do this. Just doesn't seem like you, just on and on and on. It was long and stuff. And then he said, if you're interested, here's a link, to see like why vaccination's bad. So, oh, this is going to show me like what this guy's, there's a guy name. And like, this will show me what his, what the health problem he has. I could write to him and say, I'm really sorry that this health problem kept you from getting vaccinated. Excuse me. So, so I went to the link and it was about how it can change the timing of women's periods when you take the vaccine. And the thing is, and I don't want to wade into these waters. He could be a real, I think a real ally of people who do get periods. But it just seems to me like that isn't the thing that kept him from coming. It's just the thing. I think it was an excuse. I think it was a phony baloney excuse to be angry at me for asking him to do something painless, healthful, reasonable, and caring. This is only my opinion. The Marsh, as you know, is a big tent. And within the tent, we wear masks. G54. I-26. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I was going to say, sometimes, like I say sort of off the cuff things that aren't really insightful or funny about the news that's recently happened, but I haven't noticed any big stuff in the news recently to talk about. It's just, everything's been just a very, so unfortunately, I can't really, wait, there was something. Oh yeah, our ex-president is credibly suspected of treason. So there's that. I read, this could be wrong because I don't want to, because people lie. A lot of people lie, like Republicans all lie pretty much. And then, so I don't want to lie, but I think I saw somewhere that it was, he kept them in the papers in his shoe closet. And I just want to say that that's a lot of room for shoes. He doesn't seem like a shoe hawk to me, the Donald, but then sure, everything is big. So, maybe it's like these giant clown shoes covered with gold that he uses when he has affairs with porn stars. G55. Maybe make him feel a little more masculine. Just for a second there, I forgot what I do next. It's really kind of a weird thing to happen to someone who's hosting bingo, because I only do this one. I only spin this and then so it's okay. It's okay. My wife mentioned a dear friend of ours yesterday who had posted something on Facebook, and I was like, who? So I'm gonna blame it on COVID brain. But I think it's actually just me. I-25. For someone like me, and this probably be true, I think, for a lot of other Marsh performers, maybe, a lot of us have this problem where we really don't feel like we exist unless people are reflecting back to us. You know, we don't really feel that what we say has any meaning or any use or utility in the universe unless there are people bouncing back at us, and then we can sense that we exist and that ourselves exist, and maybe even that we're valid in some way. And so it's really hard for a monologuist to be in isolation. It's just very hard because I stopped existing. I really stopped until, you know, like my wife would poke her head in and stuff. My son, B10, 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 B10. Oh, 65, oh, 65. Oh, also, as you know, probably, but a bill was just passed like within the last hour or two, strangely called the Inflation Reduction Act, called that to placate one of the people who needed to sign it, Senator Joe Manchin, who's a lovely man, lives in a houseboat, and was holding things up and amazingly he signed. Anyhow, there's a huge, it has a huge amount of stuff that apparently, according to people like really cool people in climate, it's like really great. It's like the bill will lead to significant improvements in retaining the carbon and using alternative things in it. So it's a huge accomplishment for Manchin, who is from a coal baron family and gets a lot of money from coal, and for Kirsten Sinema, who is, some magic people are like nice. She's bad magic. She's confusing magic. She's just awful. But she also is in the way. So what she demanded is that they take out this tax, putting back the tax on people who, it's some sort of, for people who like are stock people, like who are super rich, and then like they got their tax reduced and it was to give it back capital, something, I don't know. Anyhow, they put that in, and they put in a bunch of evil stuff, including like that they make all of these lands, public lands, available for oil exploitation at the same time. A lot of land in the bill so that it would pass, so Manchin would sign it. And so and it just it's basically really good, including stuff that's really bad, but mostly it's really good. And it's an amazing accomplishment within an awful, awful political economic system. G50, G50. And it makes me very happy that it passed. G50, G50, G50. Was it that horrible congresswoman from somewheres who's always talking, who has 3 names? But I saw her give a little speech and she said, why it should be called the Inflation Increase Act. Like she's, you know, because it's the Inflation Reduction. She don't have no idea what she's talking about. It's like, there's all these people talking, they have no idea what, they don't know what they're talking about. I frequently also don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm basically nice. It's different. And I don't have power other than that conferred on me by my great talent that I worked very hard for to be born a white cis male. 069, 069, 069, 069. They just all lie. They all lie. The FBI went in, they got all the things. And by the way, there is a Kornbluth, they didn't say it was a wing. It's an area in the FBI that had my family in it, you know? So it's not like we're really huge fans of the FBI and my family, but they did a legal thing. They gave Trump all the rope they could give him. And then all these people lied and they just said, no, it's Gestapo. Okay, I'm gonna stop because none of this is profound, but I never know whether I'll accidentally say something profound. So if I keep talking, you know what I mean? So um, but I just want to mention this. To have people who are fascist, essentially are fascist, accusing people they oppose and hate as being Nazis is an extra, it puts them in extra hell. It puts them in the extra hell for stupid, evil people. And I'm a being of love, but I hope they all suffer for eternity. I 30, I 30, I 30. I'd be able to actually affect that. I'd be able to do that. But as I said, my friendship with God is a little strained right now. And I got a couple emails from Satan asking, did I want to, join the E list? And I don't know, Satan said that he could make me look younger and stuff. And the thing is, the way I look has never really I mean, I've gotten older, but it's not like I ever was at a point where you'd want to preserve it. Like any of the points, the way I looked from babyhood on, it's like, no, it's fine. The 63-year-old me is fine. So anyhow, it didn't work. It was a bad thing to offer me. 075, 075, 075, 075. B3, 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 B3. Apparently, I read something a while ago that roughly a third, maybe 40%, that is roughly a third, but roughly a third of the population in countries all the time, different civilizations, that about a third are susceptible to becoming filled with hate and sort of fascist-like. That was a certain proportion of the German population before it metastasized. And I don't know why I mention it. 063, 063, 063, 063. B9, 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 B9. And 39, and 39, and 39. Was able to go on the e-bike yesterday, so that was really cool. The e-biking is the thing I can do. Very, very gentle, very easy. I have it on turbo. When you're on turbo, just, you come up, you see, whoa, Mount Everest. Don't worry about it. First of all, it may be actually called Mount Denali, but aside from that, don't worry about it, because turbo, it'll be like it's flat. 070, 070. And I did see some birds. It's a hummingbird that I felt like I was building rapport with. It's in this one tree. It's a tree without leaves. There's probably a long German word for that. Long German word for tree without leaves, purely as a simile. B5, B5, B5. Saw this hummingbird, and it had been away for weeks, and then I got COVID, and then I went back, and yes, it was there. He was there on the tree, and I got really excited. So I got off my bike, and I was straddling my bike trying to get my camera, my phone, and then my bike fell down, and it flew away. So this is like birding 101, man. Don't make a super loud sound. I probably knew that before I started birding. I would have probably just intuited that. And I had nicknamed him Hummingbird, but I sort of mixed about the morality of that name because it refers to an evil fictional character, G57. And I don't know him. Many of the pelicans are gone. Makes me sad. There was a point at which there were just enormous amounts of pelicans, and I've just become enamored of pelicans. They fly over you and they look like flying dinosaurs. They just do. They look just like dinosaurs, and they're huge, especially the white pelicans, which occasionally you see. White pelicans, I mean, they're enormous, and they fly, and they're just, they don't have to flap like, hummingbird, and they just fly, and just amazing, amazing animals. And I've sort of felt like I'm, and I got used to having millions of them along the marina in Berkeley, just millions of them, just a constant flow. And now there's fewer, and apparently the bird thing is cyclical. I'm going to learn more about this, but N34, 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 N34. There was a women's self-defense group that I narrowly missed seeing yesterday. I've learned they come out on Thursdays. If I go in late afternoon on Thursday and I go to this one area that Sarah and I go to, like our first area in the park, apparently if you go late enough in the afternoon, there's this women's self-defense group. And they're in a circle, and they were forming, and I was like, with the bird thing. And then I went up to them. I said, "Oh, what's up?" Like to they were limbering up or whatever. And she was like that. And then like, "Who are you? What is your purpose?" But then the leader of the group, the woman who's the leader of the group, said, "Hello." It's like she pegged me as she didn't peg me, but she identified me as like someone that if you speak to as a child is harmless. And in fact, if you speak to me as an adult, I'm harmless as well. But said, "Hello," she said, "and who may you be, sir?" He said, "Well, I'm Josh. I come here usually with my wife. We look at birds, go birding." "And what are you folks doing?" "Oh, we're practicing self-defense, I said, "Well, that's important and great. That's really cool." And then there was a moment there where we had initiated a conversation, but it wasn't really a situation that lent itself to a long conversation. And so there was a long beat. And I said, "Well, as you were." And I turned away, and then they all left. And so I was looking forward to seeing them again. But I was too early. G51. They explained they used to meet on Palo Alto, whatever it's called, San Pablo Avenue, but because of COVID, they started, Here's why I went up to them, because I thought maybe they were practicing the kind of stuff Stephanie Wiseman was telling me about, this like Qi Zhang, because they were just setting up, and they were just like, like some sort of, Tai Chi-ish sort of thing. And I thought maybe this would be cool. And then I noticed it was all women. And then they told me it was actually for self-defense. N33. But I'm glad. I think they ended up just thinking that I'm kind of a goofy old man. And that pretty much nails it. N38. I kind of want to say, but it's. I want to say I'm an ally. I'm an ally. I'm a feminist. I want to fight the patriarchy, the white cis male patriarchy. I mean, I do. It's evil. It's terrible. But it just seemed like if you say stuff like that, it seems like maybe you're not saying it for their benefit so much as for your own benefit. I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's just really, really yucky. It's kind of like a version of like some of my best friends are Black or sort of thing. Anyhow. And then on a serious point, I thought about as I continued along, but I thought about what an incredibly dangerous world it is for women. It's dangerous for a lot of people. is incredibly dangerous for women. It took us a really long time before, like, we tried Sarah going by herself when I couldn't go, just down to the water. It's a hateful world in many ways. N37. You know, if the conversation continued, I could have told them about sort of my red diaper baby upbringing and stuff, you know, so like raised, you know, progressive and stuff like that. And there was a lot of stuff that I think is of interest that I could have said about myself to them, but they weren't there to be the audience for a monologue for me. They were there to learn and teach each other self-defense. And so I think that's going to limit my audience size generally. Unless they can do both at different times. I-18. Oh, 72. For Sarah, it's been an especially scary time, continues to be, because she's also Asian. So, and people are still throwing Asian women off of train platforms and things still because they're filled with hate because they're racist. And so.
Josh, it looks like we've got a bingo in the chat.
Rachel! Wow, congratulations. I can't hear nothing though.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're back. Missed you. 2 weeks. I was just going through withdrawals.
No, I'm sure it was hard on all of you.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, is this a one-time thing that you've decided to label yourself with your Zoom with your name?
With my name. Rather than Dick.
Rather than Dick.
Yeah, I have my computer. I'm going
Oh,
full.
Okay, cool. Oh, you have a fuzzy thing. You have a fuzzifier. That your background is made fuzzy. Is that?
Oh, yeah, look at that. No, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know how that happened. I like that.
It's best not to ask why.
That's right.
The terrible thing would be to turn around and it really is fuzzy.
Exactly.
The Twilight Zone. Exactly. Are you doing okay? Are you guys doing well?
Yeah, I sent you a picture of a heron. I was sitting outside and all of a sudden I heard this squawk, 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 and I looked and he flew into the tree. And so I took a picture and I thought of you because you love herons. And I sent you a picture.
Was this in the last few days?
That was like last week. Was that last week or something? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had a period where I sort of went dark. So I'm sure
I think I saw you put some message on Facebook about canceling your show. So I thought it would cheer you up. So I put it on Facebook.
Very kind of you.
No, I just thought of you because I know how much you love herons and I do too.
I love herons. I love blue herons.
Yes.
Even when they're not blue.
I know you love blue.
And I love green herons, even when they have nothing green about them.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are yellow herons and stuff, like there are other things. And I don't know if any of them are the color that they're named or if it's some weird joke that Audubon did.
The blues are kind of blue though, aren't they?
They have some blue.
Yeah.
They can be, but they can also look like black and gray. They can look very unblue.
That's
and the green
true.
one can get a little bit of green, depending on if it's breeding season. I've been looking at birds a lot.
They're great.
But they sing the blues.
What?
Dick says they sing the blues.
They do. That's why they're called the blue herons. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now it all makes sense to me. Okay, cool. Figured out. Well, thank you for sending that. I will return to it in a conscious manner. And
yeah, I'm sorry you were sick. I'm sorry you were sick. I had it too really, really bad before the vaccines came out and it was bad and Dick almost died and it was terrible. So I'm glad you are feeling better.
I'm so sorry. As I was sort of just alluding to, although I can't really know, but just when I got really what was a very mild version, probably because it might be a milder variant, but certainly because of
the vaccines, right?
Vaccine, the
Yeah.
vaccines and the boosters. But I could feel this thing when it sort of hit. It was like, just for me, it was like there's like all this liquid in my lungs. And you could feel like, I could feel like, even though it was minor for me, but I could feel like if it just went up a little bit, I wouldn't be able to breathe. Like I would drown. And so I just can't imagine how awful that is. Really, I can't.
Yeah, Dick was in ICU for about 20 days and he was on life. He was on life support and it was
oh
bad.
My God.
Yeah. Then he had to go to rehab for several months before he came home. So yeah, it was quite, but it was before the vaccines. We got sick before the vaccines came out. So it was bad. But anyway, that's behind us and everybody survived. Barely. But yeah.
What a nightmare.
It was, yeah, not pretty.
Geez. But you guys are okay right now?
Oh yeah. We'd be good.
Yeah.
Cool. The one thing I would look into is whether your house might not be in focus. And that's something that it's maybe something.
That's why I keep bumping into the walls.
Yeah.
I'm not the kind of person to intervene in other people's lifestyles, but I'm saying you might want a little more clarity there.
I thought I just needed a new prescription. I didn't know.
That's another explanation. So bingo, you say?
Yes, I have bingo, and it's a diagonal, and I can show you if you want to share my screen.
It's Diagalingo.
Yes, yeah.
And sure.
Can we share my screen? Is that possible?
Yes, you can.
How do I do it?
We need a co-host.
Yeah.
Well, at the bottom, there should be the green screen share button, and you should have permission.
Okay, at the bottom, there's more here. Okay.
Yeah,
okay. Share screen. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. It's counterintuitive.
It is. Share. Okay. Can you see it?
Can I see it? It's all I can see at this moment. It's so cool. So I can see that you had. Oh wait, I have to look. Wait. Oh, it's different. The Mars part confuses me. Do you ever get confused?
I do.
Okay. B9. Yes. I-25. Yes.
The free space.
Yes.
G55.
Yes.
And O72.
Yes. You have Dialingo. You have bingo.
I have bingo. Dialingo.
You have one. Rachel, we can't tell. We can never know what kind of prize that Caitlin might award you, but it may be some clarifying butter, in which case that could help you.
That
in any
would
case, congratulations. And Caitlin?
Thank you.
All right. Congratulations, Rachel. You are the lucky winner of a Ruby membership tonight. And as a reminder of what that means, that's a general admission annual pass for one to all of our performances at the Marsh. And there's some other perks of memberships, including members only events, priority tickets for special events, post-show receptions with performers, talkbacks, MarshStream media, and unlimited access to Monday Night Marsh performances, members only emails, and so much more. And Rachel, I have messaged you in the chat with how you can redeem your prize. And congratulations once again.
Thank you, Caitlin. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Rachel. I'm kind of, I have a vague memory of you guys having been sick. I didn't know how sick.
Oh, yeah, it was bad.
Dick was, and I'm pretty shook, but I'm glad that it's now and not then, and that you.
And I'm glad you're doing better. I'm glad you got vaccinated. So.
Thank you very much.
It's all good, all good.
By the way, as Caitlin told you, there were different ways to redeem your prize, but the prize has done nothing wrong. It needs no redemption. So that's totally optional. I just wanted to add that. Either way, it's totally. Okay, cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Josh,
Yes,
Do
Ellie.
you wanna, yeah, do you wanna just stop here? So, get you just
You mean do
acclimated.
Bing? No, I'm cool. I think I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm good.
You
But thank you
sure?
for asking. Since we're chatting, you have what seems to my 2-week prescription to be something green in behind you.
Oh yes, it's the same wasabi from before you were sick. But I do have some flowers in the back.
Oh,
Pretty? That's real
are
pretty.
they alive?
Yeah, you got some berry, real pretty.
That's that's really lovely.
Very different. And I see Lisa has beautiful flowers too. So Lisa, tell us about it.
Oh my God. Those are gorgeous, Lisa. What's going on?
These are very wilted flowers that I'm involved with a book club of women, and we've started this tradition that whoever birthday it is, we take the same vase and we take flowers from our gardens and drop off flowers to the birthday person. And my birthday was last week, so
Oh,
these are my birthday
That's
flowers.
beautiful.
And
They're beautiful
although
flowers.
they're wilted,
happy
they
birthday.
smell amazing. And
What's so amazing?
they smell amazing. They're just incredibly, intensely wonderful smelling.
And this is something that I've been writing to the Zoom people about, that we can share the picture and the sound, but not the smell. Sometimes I'm grateful for that. But other times, like now, I wish I could smell. I wish I could smell the flowers. They look like they smell great.
they do.
Looks like Kat has some peonies.
Oh, and I wanted to say I tried to put a link for my friend Nils Warnock, who is an ornithologist, an amazing ornithologist. He was director of Audubon in Alaska for a while. Now he's back at he was at PRBO years and years ago, and then now he's at Audubon Canyon Ranch, Cypress Grove, and he's a scientist, and he's right now working on a paper describing the trends of breeding herons and egrets in the San Francisco Bay region.
That's crazy.
I don't know if you've ever been to
We love
Audubon.
herons and egrets.
Have you ever been to Audubon Canyon Ranch during nesting season?
Have we been to Audubon Canyon Ranch? No, we had. Is it someplace that we could go?
Yes, it is. Okay. It's near. It's between Stinson and Bolinas, and you'll see if you haven't gone, Josh, you must go. Given all you've been talking about the birding and such, and they have bird hides and it's an amazing thing. And I'm just trying to remember if they're closed when the birds are fledging, but when they're nesting, they do let people in to see them. So look it up and see when they're open and enjoy. You'll love it. Bring a picnic and your hiking shoes and just go and enjoy. You don't even have to hike, but if you want to, they have trails there you can hike.
I'm writing his name down, Nils Warnock. So even if the link doesn't work,
Audubon Canyon Ranch.
Audubon Canyon, yeah. It's truth be told, as much as we love our usual haunts along in the Berkeley Marina, we're a little bit tired of the Berkeley Marina. Like, we've been going there for a year or more, and it's still incredibly beautiful, but sometimes you just sort of see the same birds and then you want to see some different birds.
Yeah, Bolinas.
I've been corrected. Sarah says that isn't true. So just wipe that from the record. I guess what I'm saying is that we want to go to other environments, right? Yes. Yeah, green heron or white-tailed kite. If you've seen green heron babies, Sarah posted some on Facebook, but green heron is already, if you can imagine a green heron, how can something called be a green heron and then not be really cool? But green heron babies are a little fluffy thing on top. It's just adorable. And the baby green herons and the baby kites and the baby stilts before them. they all know that we're their grandparents. And therefore they avoid us because they're worried that we'll be critical. I really forgot where I was going with all this, but thank you for telling me about it. I'm going to look it up. We're going to go, once I feel better, we can go to different places and see different things. But there's an endless variety of birds to be seen in the Berkeley Marina. And don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. Game number 2. We begin game number 2 with 074. 074. 074. 074. 074. 074. This is a bad insight. I can't tell anymore. This is part of the... Anyhow, it occurred to me as I was repeating myself telling a story to my son. I was telling a story to my son, and I was conscious as I was telling it to him excitedly that I had told it to him before. And he has an excellent memory. And, you know, so it occurred to me that sometimes people, maybe say older people, it's not that they forgot that they told you before, that they tell you the same story again and again. It's because they want to tell you the same story over and over again. I don't know if that's an insight, but it makes me feel both better and worse. I-27, I-27, I-27. Because when they tell the same story over again, and that's my job, tell the same story over and over again when I could get hired, it reaffirms again my existence and that I have had an existence. Now, my grandpa, Julius, when I was a little boy, he used to always tell me, stay away from goyles. That's how he said girls, because he was from the shtetl. Yiddish was his first language. He said, stay away from goyles. He said that over and over again. I don't think that was because he forgot or enjoyed. I think he really felt that it was important for me to focus on my studies. That was, I think, the gist of it. Stay away from goyles. He also stole my nose, like recidiv. He was a recidivist. G54, G54. Do you have, I don't know, people in your life, or if you're really fortunate, relatives, or... My grandpa was totally sweet to me, and I think to other people too. He was a pickpocket, not of me. He was as a child, and he's a pickpocket, and then he got to America and he became a hardware salesman. Then he became a communist hardware salesman who was followed by FBI agents, by the way, until grandma. They were being followed by these FBI, like they were wearing suits. And I've told this story before. I can feel it. And then they were being followed by, they were wearing two guys with suits, followed my grandma and grandpa around just during the McCarthy period. Because my grandpa, he was selling hardware at hardware stores. And then at the hardware stores, he was also dropping off free copies of the Communist Party's newspaper, The Daily Worker. And then grandma finally got sick of them being followed, and she turned, she said, stop following us or we'll call the police on you. Like that, which, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's perfect. And they stopped because she had that gravitas. B7, B7, B7. My grandma Dora was fascinating. She died when I was 9 years old. And I only found out afterwards from my mom that my grandma was really, really sad. Like the whole time she was here, she and my grandpa came from the shtetl, the Jewish ghetto in Russia. That is the one that Mark Chagall was from, possibly roughly the same time. You know, Chagall's things with women and cows flying through the air in the village. That was their village. And while Chagall was painting beautiful cows flying, my grandpa was stealing, picking pockets and stuff. I was 66, oh, 66, oh, 66. And then my grandpa came to America first. And in the intervening years, my grandma got to go to St. Petersburg which was Leningrad at the time, and go to art school, I learned. And started having friends as a young woman. My grandma Dora, her name was Dora Jacobson. She had these friends who were cool young intelligentsia in Russia, and she loved it. And then her family said, okay, now you're going to go to America, and we have a guy lined up for you, and his name is Julius Selden. And she went to America, and my grandpa was like super sweet, super nice. And she felt suffocated because he wasn't like cultured. He never got out of the shtetl, never got that education. So she was always sad. I remember her always being the one person, I think one or maybe one of two people in my entire lifetime who has ever at any point said to me, "You're too thin," to me. She's and wanted me to eat more. 67. For some reason, my image that I have of her, of Grandma Dora, she had her hair up, gray hair up in bun, with comb things. And I used to stay over there sometimes. And I just remember once, maybe I have more than once, I remember this thing where she took out the combs and her hair was like long. And it was so different. It was so different from her grandma-ness. Like she was like a beautiful woman who saw beautiful things in the world and had beautiful things to give the world. And I don't know if it was the same day that she let her hair down in front of me. Sounds like a Rapunzel story, except with the grandma. But she took out one time when I was there, she took out a chest from under something, and she opened it, and it had all of her art equipment from art school that she brought with her from the old country. And I went from my grandma Dora going snell when I had to go to the bathroom, hurry. And telling me I was too thin, being very just sort of functionally my grandma and doing grandma things. And she became suddenly, in my mind, I could see that there was this person who was infinite, a person who existed not to be my grandmother, but who existed to be herself, and hopefully to become the most that she could become, that she wanted to become, which I think was an artist. And I saw her there and that way. And so, and then she got lymphoma, and he died. But when I think of her, it was a long time ago, but when I think of her, invariably I think of her hair down. And I think of all the things that she wanted to do in her life, and because she was away from her friends, away from her culture, and she was treated like a wife and a grandma in a very limited way. I feel for her. I wish I could go back and meet her, or maybe I will, and say, Grandma, you were just like sort of a cartoon grandma to me. And I want to know, Dora Jacobson, what did you dream of? What was it like as a girl? What was it like as you got older, as you discovered your dreams? What was it like to travel across the ocean? And what was it like to be severely disappointed in who you were married to, even though he was one of my favorite people? The last thing I'll say about her is that they had a daughter, grandma and grandpa named Birdie. And then they had another daughter that they named, I think it was actually Sydney. I think it's Sydney. And apparently beautiful girl. And grandma loved this little girl, Sydney. And then she got ill and she died right before my mom was born. And then my mom was born, and my grandma was in mourning forever. And my mother still, well, I don't know if she has the cogency now, but up until a year ago, when I bring up Grandma Dora, she'd say, a monster. Sadness, trauma, sadness, trauma. I wish we could manifest love back through time. I guess we have to start by manifesting love to each other when we share the time. But I've talked before about my mom since she got Alzheimer's. Her resentments, her anger is gone. A lot of her memories, not all, a lot. And what remains with me in our relationship, what remains is love. What she still does and rarely showed me before because she hadn't gotten it and she didn't want me to get it. But she forgot about all that. And now she loves me, or she still loves me. She doesn't have anything impeding her love for me. And I wish it could go back. I wish now it can go back, now that she's gotten there. G46, G46, G46. My mother, also a beautiful woman, beautiful, like beautiful, beautiful. I mean, still like aesthetically beautiful. And feeling unloved and unloving most of her life. G50, G50, G50. And then at City College at a protest, she was there with her guitar to sing songs at this protest. And this man was there, a student who had come back from the war, was also with his guitar singing folk songs. Two Jewish communists, Paul and Bernice Bunny, and they met, and then got married and were completely apparently unsuited for each other and had me. And I just want to make it all, I want to make everyone, just want to go, you guys, speaking to my parents and my grandparents, you guys, you're great. You're great. You're infinite. You don't have to limit your world. You don't have to control it. You think you have to control it, but you can't and you don't have to. You just have to be. And I suppose after I do all that, I should tell that to myself. Be one. And I've talked about my dad and his parents. I've been through the letters and stuff, but both of my parents, very strained relationships with their own parents. G56, 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 G56. B15, 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 B15. I just know if my dad could like just visit. He died in 1983. Yeah. If he could just visit, I guarantee you he would be blown away. He'd be blown away. Say, look at you and your family. Oh my God, what a beautiful family. That's my grandma. Holy cow, this is amazing. He would, you know, everyone should be like that. It's amazing. It's a miracle. Everyone. My dad was capable of joy, and my mother, for the most part, wasn't. And that's a huge difference. And I think I got the message that it was okay to feel joy from my father. And I tried to share it with them. But, you know, I'm going to stop because, as you know, if there's one thing people know about me is that I hate talking about myself. G52, 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 G52. And 41, and 41, and 41. But so much anger, so much effort into hating, into people hating people of color, hating women, hating queer people. So much energy, causing so much misery, and generating within these people such toxicity. It's a sadness, a tragedy. And all because they're being manipulated by what, 10, 15 people? And they have about what, 100, 150 people who do their stuff for them. We're manipulating these people into taking their self-doubts and turning it into hatred so that for lower capital gains taxes. 065, 065. It seems unfortunate. I-19, I-19, I-19. Have I seen that guy, Ted Cruz? It's like, why? Why go through with this? Why be a horrible person like that? Why lie all the time? Why be hateful? Why? Why be a worm? I hope I never get to talk to him about it because I believe he is beyond redemption, unlike the prizes that you may win at March Bingo. N34, N34. N32, 32, N32. I think a lot of people believe that they're really not lovable. I-30, I-30. N31, 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 N31. When I was a kid, my parents were both in therapy with these horrible therapists who actually started a cult. But the trend in therapy that I could see in 40th therapy at the time was always to blame the mother, like always. Say, oh, kid's autistic. Mother, cold mother. That's what I was told. Mother was cold. It was fucked up. B10, B10. So my dad had to walk this line because he said, he would say that because he had to say, well, the Freudians must be right. Freud and Marx and Engels and Lenin are all right, right? So everything stays right. So he had to tell me, you know, these things, but then at the same time, he was a loving person. I-20, I-20. Oh, 63, oh, 63. Getting a thought. There isn't a default person right? There isn't a default person. And I think the default that the white supremacists clearly have is that a person is a white person with less melanin, white, straight, or presenting as straight. This idea that they're not the absolute perfect basic thing that humans are, and that all variety is some horrible barnacle. N39. N39. Before. G59. G59. One nice thing about getting old, man, really just give you some perspective that you couldn't have had. Like if you always just lived in a cave that was in the middle of the Grand Canyon, then slowly to get sustenance, you get to move out and out till you were in the rim of the Grand Canyon. That's how I feel right now at 63. I realize I have older to get, I hope to, but B14, B14. It's like another sense. It feels like what it feels like, the knowledge or the emotion or the vibe of gestalt of age, of carrying years on you, with you. It's like another, it's like having another sense. It feels like that. It's like one of, if Ellie or Lisa had a flower, like one of those flowers that they only flower every 100 years or something, the century plant, I-16, I-16, I-16. There's some kind of flowering that you can't do until you're deteriorating. Maybe you couldn't do it unless you were deteriorating. And 42, and 42. But some of it is beautiful. Some of it makes you love the world even more. It should give you more compassion. So why are all these old fucks who run our country, why are so many of them so horrible? I-28, I-28, I-28. I mean, Lindsey Graham is at a point in his life where he should be like really loving. But no. N45, N45, N45. B11, 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 B11. B9, B9. It's familiar to me, B9. B9, yes, misogynist. B9. G53, G53, G53. Oh, 71. Oh, 71. Hopefully someone's gonna get bingo soon, but so before I go, I just want to tell you something that Sarah noticed when I wasn't with her. She was birding, is that some birds enjoy teasing / torturing other birds. And the example I'll give is that there was a cormorant that she saw. The cormorant had a fish, and it was like flipping it in the air and then letting it drop and then looking at it and flipping the air, letting it drop. Meanwhile, there's a crow nearby. The crow's really hungry. The crow's like, want that fish. And then so the cormorant went and then would plop there and they'd sort of look at each other. And the crow's like, is that cormorant giving me that fish? Like, is that fish for me? And then the crow starts just going a little closer and closer and closer to the fish. When it gets close enough, cormorant whips the fish away. Whips the fish away. And apparently the crow was almost literally doing this and jumping up and down in his crow feet.
Josh, it looks like we've got a bingo in the chat.
A bingo from Michelle.
Yes.
A bingo
Hi.
from across the world. Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
I'm good. Can you see it?
I can see what looks like the orb that, if it were round, would be what Trump and those Saudis touched when he started his presidency.
Oh,
That was a strain. That was a strained analogy. Yes, I can see it, but I can't see what's on it.
there's that red line. No, it says when it flashes red, bingo.
I'm a little, Michelle, you'll
I'll
understand
read
this. I
it
don't
to
know.
you. I'll read the numbers.
Please do.
Of course.
I just want to say that if you've taken a home COVID test, then you'll know that why I flinched when you said there's a red line. Red lines could be bad news.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
For a
okay.
second, we both thought I was pregnant. Then we remembered that it was a testing thing for COVID. So it was a different thing.
Oh,
Please continue.
okay. Well, B15,
Yes.
I30,
Yes.
free space,
Oh, for sure.
G56,
Yes.
and O74.
Listening for you have bingulated indeed. And Michelle, I want you to give me your word that you haven't used your extra powers as a bingo host yourself to somehow tilt this game towards you.
No, I haven't. Actually,
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
one of my friends plays one card for me, and I hardly ever win.
There's something.
No,
there's something there.
because she just does that, because she like, as a thank you for me for calling bingo, she says, well, I'll play a card for you. But see, it's
not
all
gonna
good
go-
because I won tonight.
I'm not going to go into this, Michelle, and I don't want to cast aspersions, but do you really trust this friend? That's all I'm going to say. I just want you to think about it. I want you to think about it before you answer. There's a lot you're taking on faith there. Okay, cool.
But yeah,
And
I
as a
do.
Yes. And in any case, of course, from winning, you will now get a prize that will be given to you by Caitlin. Caitlin?
And by the way, I'm so glad that you're doing much better.
Thank you, Michelle.
I'm so sorry you went through what you went through, but I'm so glad you're doing better. So, and you're going to be able to do your shows in like 3 weekends.
Yes, unless there's a rebound.
No.
Even the God of the Old Testament, I think, would just do one Paxlovid rebound. Then he would smote me, but letting me do a show. So I think it'll be happening. I'm only sorry that I won't also be doing a show in New York State.
Yeah, that
Caitlin,
would be great.
All right. Well, congratulations, Michelle.
Thank you.
And your prize for tonight is a gold membership. So that's a general admission annual pass for 2. And I've messaged you in the chat with how you can redeem that. And it includes all the same perks as the Ruby membership from earlier tonight.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Congratulations again.
so happy you won, Michelle.
Thank you.
Well deserved. And I'm sorry for there are two players, I'm not going to name them, who Venmo'd me $5 to try to get them to be winners. And I'm sorry that I wasn't able to swing it this time. But your bribe is noted. Your bribe is noted and can be forwarded. So it's excellent. One of you even, although I don't think for bribery purposes, but simply out of love, sent me a book that I received today. I'm really excited about, and I'm going to read it and I'll tell you guys about it after I've read it. Okay, so I've really gone beyond bingo. I think I've done pretty well. What's weird is that I feel like I went really efficiently through the game calling, and so I don't understand why it's a little bit after 8. But I'm pretty sure it's because of you guys talking a lot. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing at all wrong with that. And now, please allow yourself to be unmuted so that we may all sing together the Marsh Bingo song. And then all will be right with the world briefly. You can do it in E major. Marsh
Bingo.
Marsh Bingo.
Marsh
Bingo.
Marsh
Bingo.
Marsh Bingo. Marsh Bingo. One more time for all our ancestors who didn't get to fulfill themselves the way they should have been. Marsh
Bingo.
Marsh Bingo.
Bingo.
Marsh Bingo. Marsh Bingo. Marsh Bingo. Marsh Bingo. Thank you, Josh.
I found that very moving.
Thanks, Caitlin. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
You.